10 seconds.
Is this where the damn drumming and the music kicks in?
Yeah.
What is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to On the Pipe Podcast. I think I missed the timing there just a little bit, but you know what? We're still in our trying to figure out what in the world's going on mode. So, hello, thank you for joining me. Welcome, and thanks for being here. Today is Tuesday, February the 25th, 2025 years after zero. You are joining us just in time for this week's episode of OTP Tuesday, presented by Yamaha USA. You know what I mean? I got the swag on, representing Yamaha out here with the podcast. So we're going to talk a little bit more about them here in a little bit. But I got Big Tom here with me once again. We're going to discuss race results from all over the country. We had a few locals this weekend, and there was a works that went on out west. So we'll go through those results for you here in just a moment. Now, I did mention that I might have mistimed the intro, which I think is still playing right now. Oops. I messed that up too. You know what I mean?
Definitely still playing.
I forgot to pause it. So, fun fact, the way I have it set up right now, I can only see while the intro is playing. I can't actually hear while the intro is playing, so my bad about that. But that is what I want to talk to you about real quick, because if you watched Supercross this past weekend, then you saw one particular fella who lit the world on fire this past weekend, and that was none other than Justin Hill, former 250 West Coast Supercross champion. Went out, was the fastest qualifier of the weekend, and then ended up with a top 5 in the main events. You're wondering why I bring that up. That is because the intro music that is made specifically for the OTP intro is played by none other than Justin Hill. So shout out Justin Hill, doing it on a privateer program, going out, getting the fastest time, getting another top 5 on the season. This is his second top 5 on the season. So congrats to him. And yeah, thanks again for the intro music. Hope to see you down in Daytona this weekend, where we are going to head for GNCC. Before we get into the show, into the meat and potatoes of it, I want to let you guys know, as I mentioned, Yamaha, presenting sponsor, the official manufacturer of On the Pipe Podcast. We're super pumped that they're on board. Super glad to be riding the Yamahas. Got to ride it around Big Buck. Was a good time, taking it straight from the factory headquarters to the mud of Big Buck. So that was a good time. But yeah, performed great. Was awesome. This episode is also brought to you in part by Zach Tussle with Raymond James Financial. Zach is a financial advisor. He is also a racer that Big Tom beat a couple of weeks ago at the Sumter National Enduro. Stopped by, had lunch with Zach and his wife and kid today. So yeah, he's always my first recommendation when it comes to financial planning, whether you're retired and looking for income during retirement, or you are trying to figure out how to save for the future and get ready for retirement. Hit up Zach Tussle, Financial Advisors, DenverNC.com, or TussleInvestments.com. Either way, he'll get you there. Let him know you listen to OTP. He can tell you exactly what to do with your money, and he'll help you manage it. And then also, Dimmer's Precision Grading was out at a couple DPG sites today. They are Charlotte's premier grading choice. So if you're looking to get a job done, big or small, they do huge projects, the residential stuff. But anything grading, land clearing, anything of that sort, hit up DPG, dimmersprecisiongrading.com, or find them on the socials at Dimmer's Precision Grading. Once again, the owner, Brandon Dimmer, he is a racer as well. He actually just qualified for Loretta's this past weekend in 2 different classes. So he'll be going out and racing moto at Loretta. Well, I guess he's got to get to the regional qualifier. But he got his ticket in 2 different classes into the regional qualifier. So it's cool. We're doing stuff with moto people like you and I that get what it is that we do for a living. So we like to support the people that are supporting our sport as always. So that is it. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to bring in big old Tom. Tom, how's it going today?
What's up? I will not be in Daytona this weekend, unfortunately. Me and the boys are heading to Utah to go snowboarding.
Oh, when are you leaving for that?
Sunday morning, to be honest. I don't even know when the flight leaves or lands or anything. I just paid my money, bought my ticket, they paid for the house. I'm just going.
Isn't it like a bachelor trip or something?
No, it's just me and Chris and his wife, sister and brother-in-law, and then 2 guys they know from Asheville. So we all went to college together, and they were going. I wasn't gonna go, and then some stuff changed up, and I was like, you know what, I'm going.
Dude, I actually didn't realize that you and Chris went to college together. You went to West Kakalaka
You
too?
did not know that?
No.
You didn't know I went to Western Carolina?
I knew you went to Western. I always wondered how you knew Chris and how you guys were such good friends.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys went to college together.
We met at freshman orientation.
Oh, really?
He was talking shit because I was wearing a FMF shirt, and he's like, I bet this dude don't ride.
Poser. Were you wearing a Monster hat?
No,
Oh.
but I had like this OGO book bag on I had since high school, and he was like, he I don't know, he just came up, bumped into me, and started talking shit, and I was like, actually, yeah, I do ride.
See,
So
learn something new every day.
yeah,
No, I really didn't realize that.
yeah, shit, we lived together for a year. We lived in the same dorm for 2 years, just not in the same room, and then we moved into a house off campus, and yeah.
Maybe you can answer the age-old question. What is a catamount? Because I don't know. Isn't it just a big cat?
It's a badass creature, man. That's
What
the
about that?
best thing about it is
I just figured
nobody knows. It's like how many licks does it take to get to a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
I just figured that everyone that went to Western were
Hell no.
denied at app.
No, I wouldn't deny the app, but I didn't even apply. So, well, you know, Riddle went to app.
Yeah, I know Riddle went. No, yeah, app.
No, he
yeah.
went to app for
Yeah.
a year,
He,
and then transferred to Western.
Because some dude, wow, what's that guy? The guy that used to open for Riddle in high school, in college, Luke Combs.
Yeah, big fella.
Luke Combs. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's who. It was. He
Fun-
used to open for Riddle, right?
I don't know.
That's what I tell people.
Oh, yeah. So you know,
Riddle, if you're watching, can you confirm or deny? That's just what I tell people. Sounds cooler.
I know if you remember, Luke Combs got big on Vine. Remember Vine?
Oh yeah. So did the Paul brothers,
Oh, yeah.
and they did all right with it.
Yeah, look, they're all doing all right. Vine was
Yeah.
the OG TikTok, but so if you go back, there's a Vine compilation. How you say it? Compilation on YouTube of big old cowboy hat.
Really?
Yeah, when they so fun fact, you know the song "Let the Moon Shine."
Yeah.
Let that moon shine. That song. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Riddle helped Luke write that song.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Because he's credited as a songwriter in that song.
Yeah. So I think Dylan gets a percent of a percent of a percent of royalties from that. If he's still getting them, but
That was going to be my next question is, does he get a percentage of royalties?
I know he did for a while. I don't know if he's still getting them or not.
That's pretty cool. We got action already?
Craig, shut up, man. You never even came and visited me in college. You wouldn't even know what a catamount is.
In fairness, neither did I. But I didn't know you in
Yeah,
college.
but I don't think we knew each other.
Yeah, no. See, learn something new every day. Well, snowboarding in Utah is a lot of fun. Been out there, been trying to go back.
Have you been?
Yeah.
I've never been past Colorado.
So I've never been to Colorado,
Really?
but I've been a lot of other places out west. So Park City, the same mountain range, but on the other side of it is Brighton Ski Resort. And my roommate's old roommate is part of the terrain crew at Brighton.
No shit.
So me and Bradley Chapman went out there, actually.
Yeah. Can you hook a brother up with some lift tickets?
Might. I don't know.
Message him.
I'll see.
Wait, so we're
I
going.
don't know about 6 people.
Well, two of them's already got their tickets,
Oh.
and then I don't think the girls are going to Brighton. I think so. We all got 3-day passes to Park City, and then the plan is to do 1 or 2 days at Brighton while we're there. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a big week next week. I'm gonna be smoked. But
So I was actually just talking to Tussle about that too, because there's another place out there called Powder Mountain that I guess he used to go to like every year.
yeah, and there's another one called Snowbird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Ryan Page told us to try that one because
It's snow up there.
it's right near Brighton.
Yeah. And the good part too is like when you go to Denver, like if you fly to Denver and go to Colorado resorts, you're driving like a few hours from the airport.
Yeah, well, we're staying in
Oops.
Salt Lake or on the outskirts.
Yeah.
So I think the Park City is an hour.
So the way that it used to be, and this is something worth noting for you, beer isn't able to be sold in stores. You have to go to the ABC store to get beer.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, you can't buy cases of beer. You can only buy the singles. And then because of that, it had to be under like a certain alcohol content, and it's super low, like 4 or 3 or something. So that's
that's
why.
all Busch Light is anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually like 4 or something, 5 something. Whatever.
It's 4.2.
Whatever the typical light beer is, the threshold is right under that. So there was actually beer companies that started making theirs with a little bit less alcohol, just so it could be sold in the grocery stores.
But can you buy it in a case at the grocery store?
I don't know.
Mm.
I remember those 2 things. I remember
we might be in trouble.
I remember you could only buy it at ABC store.
Surely that's changed.
And you couldn't buy it in
Probably in
cases.
city limits.
Oh, this is probably 3-4 years ago.
Oh shit.
Me and Bradley went.
Oh shit.
A lot of Mormons out there.
That's all right. After this past weekend, I could stand to keep off the beers for a while.
Oh yeah, happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
Welcome to the vet class.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Vet rider.
30 plus debut did not happen on Sunday like planned.
No, we did we talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
You were supposed to come race Mid-East, but 30 for 30 got the best of you, I guess.
Yeah, I had the bright idea Saturday. 30 for 30, 30 beers for 30 years, and yeah, there was no racing on Sunday. We went riding.
Hell, I turned 33 this year, and I don't think I've raced a vet class yet. I've raced some 25 pluses.
Well, fun. Actually, I've already raced a 30 plus. Snuck it in at Sumter.
I'm telling. Zach, get your win back.
No, he's still DNF'd. I think he was an.
Yeah, but you'd be DQ'd.
Yeah, but
I know a guy.
nobody cares about what place I got.
All right, so we got a question coming in hot and heavy. Why is it Ansley on WP? I don't know.
I've said it before that I don't get it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we have talked
We've
about that.
talked about it.
Yeah.
And I walked past his bike at Big Buck, and I was like, dumbest thing ever, makes no sense to me. Why is Ansley riding a Cali, which arguably has the best, in my opinion, got the best suspension.
Nah, it's not KYB.
Yeah, but that show stuff's good.
But it's not KYB.
But
anyway, yeah,
they're
to the
both
point.
still better than WP.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't make any sense to me. He must have a bunch of leftovers from KTM years or something.
I remember asking him about that last time we talked about it, and for the life of me, I don't remember what the reasoning was. I think it was some type of relationship or someone he knew, or maybe he likes it better. Maybe he's crazy. I don't know.
Craig's over the Utah snowboarding talk.
Well,
Says he'll be back in 20 minutes.
okay.
But you know what?
Why don't you start your own podcast? You
Yeah,
talk about whatever you want.
You know what? You should be here. Maybe we'll be talking about what you want to talk about.
That's the beauty of it.
It's a loose program tonight.
It's a loose program.
We talked before the show, and it's like, what are we going to talk about? Well, I don't know.
We talked before
we'll
we
wing
did.
it. We'll wing it.
We talked before any of these shows. I was like, what are we supposed to talk about on non-GNCC weeks?
Yeah. But we got a GNCC this
Yeah.
weekend.
And spoiler alert, the back half of this program is going to be previewing this weekend's GNCC. But no, let's get into some results real quick. We'll get into the dirt bike action. I know that's what people are dying to hear about. So we're going to start off with U.S. Sprint Enduro. After round number 2, the big story going into it was that Liam Draper broke Johnny Gerard's win streak that stood for years. And I was checking in the results as I was announcing it mid-east, kind of keeping tabs and checking in, and it looked like Liam was going to do it again. It looked like he was on his way to a day one lead. He went into test number 6, leading the overall, and then, where's it at? Right here. Johnny ended up getting him in the last test. It was 5-second difference between the two. I think I'm trying to read it here now. No, it would have been 3. Cross test 3, Enduro test 3. I think it was Enduro test 3. I think they ended on the Enduro test where Johnny put down a 6:05.2 and Liam rode a 6:18.8. So that gap was big enough for Johnny to steal the day one win off of Liam Draper in the final test of racing, and ended up taking the day one win. Spoiler alert. Not a spoiler alert. That's what we're talking about right now. But Johnny would end up taking the day 2 win as well and taking the overall. So an interesting storyline going into that one. So your overall results after 12 tests of racing, 2 days of racing, Johnny Gerard would take the win in the number 1 spot. Cody Barnes actually jumped Liam in the overall to end the day 2nd place on the weekend. And Liam Draper would round out the overall podium with a 3rd place finish on that Blue Crew Yamaha machine. And then down in the Pro 2 class, Grant Davis was putting on a strong ride himself. 5th place overall, 1st place in the Pro 2 class. Toby Cleveland, who we saw win Ironman last year, obviously has the speed. Went out there, he got 2nd place in Pro 2. And then Cooper Jones rounded out the Pro 2 podium. Looking down at the Pro-Am class, JoJo Cunningham, who shocked everybody with his top 5 performance at the Big Buck GNCC. He ends up 8th place overall, 1st place in the Pro-Am class. Lane Whitmer would finish 2nd in the Pro-Am class. Colton Shields rounding out your top 3. And then we take a look down at the Pro Women and TMFJ. Taylor Jones went out there and took the Pro Women class win for the weekend. Rachel Goodish in the number 2 spot. Be interesting to see if Rachel Goodish comes out and races in Florida this weekend after showing real good signs to start the Big Buck GNCC in the number 2 spot before having bike issues there. And then Corey Steed would round out the overall podium for the women's pro class. Did you keep tabs on any of the U.S. Sprintero stuff over the weekend?
Nah.
That's all I could do is look at the results.
I didn't keep tabs on anything over the weekend.
Yeah. You kept 30 tabs from Busch Lights.
Yeah. Underfoot's back in the chat.
Is he?
Yeah.
Shout out Underfoot.
Yeah, I want to let him know that $20 contributed to Big Tom's 30 for 30.
Dude, he's got priority. Underfoot, you got any questions, you let us know. We're on it, dude. I got the Google machine right in front of me if I don't know it.
Do you know anything about Goodish riding a I don't even know how to say that.
Riehu?
Riehu.
Is that what she rode this past weekend?
That's what Tyler Brown said. It looks like it. Is that a Riehu?
It's red.
It's red.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, it's the OG gas.
Oh yeah, it's got her listed as a Riehu in the results. I didn't even pick up on that. Shout out Tyler Brown. So
if I had to guess, she's probably not getting paid from Sherco.
That seems to be what happens.
It seems to be a trend.
So, and granted, I don't want to get sued. So I'm not in the business of talking bad, but there have been alleged conspiracy theories that maybe Sherco didn't really fulfill their financial obligations to riders in the past, and now it's ironic to see, or I guess a shock to see, Rachel Goodish, who has had success on that Sherco machine. She was on GNCC podiums last year. She went overseas and raced the the World Enduros on a Sherco. She won hard enduro events. She raced national enduro events, GNCCs. She is a person, I've talked about Rachel a bunch on this show. She is a dog. She's got the dog in her, and dude, she's tough as nails, and she's good. And
she is surprisingly good, yeah.
At all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Because, and I tell this story all the time, but like, she showed up at Battle of the Goats, won Battle of the Goats, which is, I mean, every single person that raced it said it's harder than Erzberg. Like, it's the hardest race that they do. Won it. and then drove overnight. I think it was back to Indiana. It was either Indiana, Ohio, and raced a local race there and won it. So one Battle of the Goats Saturday, drove overnight, no sleep, raced on Sunday, won that race.
It doesn't sound fun.
So, yeah, but all I'm getting at
impressive.
is that she is a person that doesn't give up. She's really good on a dirt bike, and she's an asset to a company like Sherco, like Riehu, like someone that can make a two-stroke for hard enduro, but also make a competitive bike to race GNCCs, National Enduro, Enduro Cross, whatever, because she is one of those like Josh Toth, Ryan Sipes people where we saw Cody Webb come out race GNCC, got smoked. We saw Caleb Russell go race Erzberg and got beat by a dude on an adventure bike. So it's like there's not a lot of people that can make that crossover, like Jordan Ashburn. Ricky Russell made the final at TKO one year. The point is there's not a lot of people that can do that. And unless I'm completely drawing a blank in my mind, I can't think of any other girl that does it. So you would think that that is an asset that you wouldn't want to let go. But obviously things happen, and now she's on a Riehu.
Well, they let Stu go, so,
Yeah.
they didn't, that ended in flames.
But not only that, look at the world of hard enduro and how big it is. There was a hard enduro this past weekend in Hawaii. I forgot to look up those results.
I'm pretty sure a local guy won and beat Tristan.
A local Hawaiian?
Yeah, I think so.
Heck yeah.
No idea, but I think I saw Tristan's post and it said that he had nothing for the local guy, and tagged him in it. I didn't dig too deep into it, but
dude, that's tough news when you beat a dude that's got Legos.
Legos.
Yeah, Tristan Hart had a Lego deal. He had like a Lego set
Really?
come out. Yeah, dude, it was cool.
Shoot, I didn't know that. I got some Legos for Christmas.
How did I forget about that?
Man,
hard enduro is one of those things that, dude, it is so interesting and it's so much fun to watch. Like, I don't make any money going to TKO every year. I go to TKO every year.
Yeah.
Because
I've never been.
Dude, I went the first year, and it's unlike anything you'll ever experience.
Yeah, but dude, my problem with being that close to Nashville is I would be in Nashville.
Well, so the first year I went was when they... No, it wasn't the first year. Second year I went is when they did the straight rhythm in downtown Nashville.
How far is it from Nashville?
Hour and a half.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I'd be in Nashville.
Yeah. So that's actually the only time I've been to Nashville.
Dude.
Was for that.
Dude, I love that place.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but...
But it was also... The first year I went, it was a World Enduro Super Series event. So I've never been to I've never been to an ISD either, but I've never been to like a Des Nations, and I know that you've been to several.
Yeah.
So it's like a Des Nation feel in the woods. So like I walked through when I was.
You said there's a lot of foreigners there.
Ton, dude. That's so I walked through the woods, like getting to film spots, and didn't hear any English. Like passing hundreds of people and hear no English. And not only that, it's like when I'm standing there filming at GNCCs. Guys will go by. It'll be like Mike Wachowski. It'll be Evan Smith. Like dudes like that. Dudes that are fast. Dudes that are legit like top 5 guys, like factory guys. They'll go by and people in the woods like, who is that? What place are they in? Who is that? Who was that went by? Or like I asked somebody, hey, did the leaders come by? It's like, I don't know. Who's leading? So like that's your typical GNCC. Not typical, but that is a lot of GNCC fans. Dude, hard enduro, it's a completely different world because I go to a GNCC and I know the B class riders, the A class riders, everyone. Hard enduro, I knew like 2 people the first year I went. And these people in these woods, I'm talking about 5 and 6 year olds all the way up to 56 to 70-year-olds. They know every person that comes by. Oh, that's so and so. He's from such and such. He did such and such last weekend.
Well, they also go by a lot slower. So you have more time to recognize them, too. I'm sure that has something to do with it. But
yeah. I would just say the knowledge of the fan base.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really passionate fan base.
Yeah. Yeah, the hard enduro, like, even the guys that ride, like, the older guys that just ride Brown Mountain or Brushy Mountain, like, and ride the hard enduro stuff, they're like, it's almost like a mountain bike crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like a super niche... dedicated crowd.
Yeah. Buys all the just the bling. Not, I guess hard enduro guys don't necessarily buy like the bling, but they like they go all in on a hard enduro setup. They go
Yeah.
all in on hard enduro.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're different, dude. But it's a ton of fun. But anyway, long story long, I want to cover hard enduro more on this, but hard enduro is one of those sports like we just talked about with US Sprint Enduro. Yeah, I can look through the results and read the results, but so can anybody that's listening to this right now. That's the thing I think that separates like our GNCC coverage and like of course me from Mid East. Like races that you're at, you can tell the story. You hear stuff in the pits, you see what's going on. It's hard to read the results. And hard enduro, there's so much stuff that happens that I feel like it doesn't justify it enough to just talk about the results.
well, and with the GNCC and local stuff, like we know who to talk
Yeah.
to get answers out of, and you
Yeah.
know the riders. So,
Yeah.
but
And I'm booked every weekend of my life between Mid East and GNCC. So I can't make it to many hard enduro rounds, or else I for sure would be there.
there's too many of everything.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But anyway, here's your hard enduro results. Yeah, it was Kawelo Huddy
he's a local.
that took the win.
Sounds like a local
Sounds
name.
super local. His sponsors are Aloha Exchange, KRD Hui, and Kauai, or that's not Kauai. Kauai
See,
Motorsports.
You should have done some research and met this guy while you were in Hawaii.
Dude, so when I was in Hawaii, I did look up the hard enduros and to figure out where they were at. There was two of them on two different islands.
Yeah,
And they were like, one was like supposed to be a week after I left. I think it got canceled though.
I think this happened last year when they went too.
A local?
I think so.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Anyway, who was second? Tristan.
In the number 2 spot, it was Mr. Lego Man, Tristan Hart. And then the next, the guy in third, you probably know him really well. Why don't you say his name, man?
Is it Will?
Nope. It's Kamakana Waiole Kaha Lepuna. I feel pretty legit about that. That's got to be close.
I would have butchered that.
I feel super confident in Kamakana. I feel pretty confident in Waiole. And then Kahalapuna.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Hey,
He'd be proud.
Real quick, can you hear like that?
Sure can.
Can you turn it? Can we fix that, or what do I need to do? Because
So
I
I'm
hear
trying.
it here.
So for those listening at home, I keep hearing myself
Yeah.
breathing and stuff too. If you're listening with headphones, I couldn't listen to this in headphones. So if you are, shout out you. You're a good person.
And I feel like I think you might have fixed it, but I feel like I am hearing myself loud. You're not that loud, but I feel like I hear myself back kind of loud.
Oh, well,
Anyway, it's
the
all good.
levels look all right, so we should be good. But I did change the audio and the way that it is going in now. So, you know what I mean? It's a learning process. We're trying to figure this whole thing out. Do you see?
We got
Look,
new
hold on.
technology.
For those that are watching, if you're listening to this afterwards, this does nothing for you, but
Yeah,
you can
this
check
is-
us out on YouTube.
This is dangerous.
Um,
Don't screw it up. Wow, that looks wild.
yeah. So, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see how many dang buttons there are on this thing. Still trying to figure it all out. You know what I mean? One
Yeah,
step at a
that
time.
was ballsy because
Yeah. Is everything still going? Can you
Yeah.
see the?
hopefully, can y'all still hear?
Yeah, I think we're still good. But then,
Okay.
all right, so that's just one thing, and then here's the other one. So yeah, and I will be honest. This is turning. So we're supposed to have another guest on tonight. Not gonna happen because
Who?
I can't figure out how to do it.
This is news to me. Who's coming on?
We'll talk about it here in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, so a lot of stuff going on, a lot of buttons, a lot of things, and we're trying around. We're trying to get this set up. But hey, we're hoping that this is a more professional setup. We're on our way. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure it out. But it is kind of hard to be monitoring the stream, making sure that's good, monitoring the audio, making sure that's good, switching the cameras, doing all this stuff, monitoring the audio over here, and also participating in a conversation. Because like last week with you and Craig, there was a few times where I didn't know what the hell you guys said because I was doing everything else.
That's all right. That was the first week with the new fancy camera board thing.
Yeah,
there,
dude.
so.
Rome one built in a day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We'll get there.
This is what happens when you get a studio and you're in the same spot every week. You can do cool shit like this.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out how to make it work.
We're just going to keep improving. And while we're at it, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Rider guest in the number 4 spot. That sounds like a creative player you forgot to name. Ryder LeBlond ends up in the number 5 spot. James Flynn in 6th. Quinn Wenzel 7th. Chris Satterfield 8th. I've gone this far, so we might as well talk about 9th. Will Reardon. And rounding out the top 10 was Brennan Pijeda. But the reason I wanted to get to that far is because Will Reardon, good friend of the program, got 2nd in qualifying in the prologues.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he did good at the prologue and King of Motos, too.
Yeah. And he won one of the events earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought this was only the second one. We don't know.
I thought he won one.
No, I think he won the prologue at King of Motos.
I could have swore he won a race.
Or won a moto.
Sounded like, speaking of Sherco, it sounded like he had a problem from his description, his race
Where's
recap
Cody
on
Webb?
Instagram. That's also what I wanted to get into. So
Your fellow Yamaha-ian.
my teammate,
Yeah.
he also had issues.
Mm.
So talk to Cody a little bit, and when I was building up the whole Rachel thing, part of what I wanted to get into is like Cody Webb was like the poster boy for Sherco for like the past several years, and now he's gone off of Sherco. So I don't know what is going on over in that blue and neon yellow place, but
It has to do with the lack of the green stuff.
yeah, I don't know. They need to figure it out. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Will's bike. I just remember reading his Instagram post. But Cody Webb spoke with him a little bit, and obviously him going to Yamaha was a huge surprise to a lot of people because they have 2-stroke, but they don't really have like a hard enduro 2-stroke.
No.
And so
They have a YZ250. X.
and a YZ250X, both great machines. But he said that he can run. He had some rounds picked out where he was going to run a hydraulic clutch, and he had some rounds picked out where he was going to run an electric starter. And I guess for whatever reason, you can't run both. So some of the rounds he was going to have electric start, some of the rounds he was going to have the hydro clutch. This weekend he had the electric start, and based off of what
probably really loud. My bad.
based off of what he wrote and kind of explained, it seems like he kept having issues with that starter gear. I don't know if it was getting hot or stripping or something, but I think that ended up being the issue.
Back to kicking.
Yeah, but I mean, got some things to figure out, but he's on his way to figuring them out, just like the OTP podcast setup. You know what I mean? Adapt and overcome, because that's what Blue Crews do. You know what I mean? If you got passion for dirt bike, it revs your heart. All right.
Is that their saying?
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
it revs your heart.
Revs your heart.
I gotta come up with a segment. A segment revs your heart. I don't know if it's when I get revved up and damn want to talk junk about people, or just something gets us all pumped up and stoked and ready to go.
Well, let's get revved up.
But there's gonna be something other than Yamaha revving our hearts here soon. I'll tell you what. There was a full gas this past weekend. Their results, I can only read them as I see them. Linden Snodgrass, who might have a new sponsor going into the weekend. We got to work it out. We're working on something. We're cooking something up. Right now, Palmer Motorsports back, Husqvarna rider Linden Snodgrass. I saw the videos he posted. It looked like he was rolling.
Yeah, look good.
Coming straight off an XC1 podium.
Yeah.
I expected to see him at full gas, but
He's.
I'm at Mid-East.
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't have been there. You'd think he'd be hitting all the money races.
Mm-hmm. Buren pays good. He upped the payouts on the line.
Was there 10?
I think there's more than that. But he always writes it down, and Ricky tells him, and then we introduce him. And then after we did all that, Buren went up to him online and said, watch this. And he goes over there and told him all he's going to bump the payouts up. So he bumped it up again. So.
Did he make him run to the bike?
Nah.
Not that much.
That's the Hickory race.
Yeah,
He pays like $4,000 to win that race.
Yeah, but he always, like, even if he's got, so say you wanted to sponsor the, not airport, but what's the next one? Anyway, and put up some money, he'd make him run to the bike for it. It's
Probably.
yeah. If you want to sponsor the Water Wheel Classic.
Bjorn likes a show.
Yeah. He's a showman.
I can't tell you how many times that I'll go out in the woods and it's just a spot that just makes no sense at all, dude. Like,
NC4 Bangin says weld the limiter gear at Cody Webb.
there you have it.
That's how you fix it, Cody.
Dude, just read YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Weld the limiter gear.
But yeah, there'll be rounds where like it's just, or even that creek jump video that went super viral. Like Bjorn just likes to do stuff just to watch it, dude. I go out to him in the woods and he's got like a wall for these dudes to go up, like not a hill climb, a wall.
And he's sitting at it.
Dude, sitting there laughing his ass off. It is so fun. He will literally sit at the worst part of the track and just sit and laugh at people when they fall.
I heard, I seen a video of the guy that pre-rode the start. He said, you got a 180 corner and you got a 200-mile-an-hour straightaway.
Yeah, that was Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and someone did wad it up. I think it was Zay Bishop. At the end of that straightaway, just wadded it up.
Not good. Too much
One
front
ass
brake.
over tea kettle.
Yep.
But it was a long straightaway.
Well, let's finish these full gas results
you
so
gotta do
we
what you
can
gotta do.
get into the Mid-East, baby.
Lyndon Snodgrass takes the win. Ryder Lafferty in the number 2 spot. Caleb Baltimore would take the 3rd place spot overall. At the full gas at Outback. And then
Caleb Baltimore, is he still racing GNCCs?
I believe so.
Name sounds familiar, but I haven't heard it in a while.
What's going to sound even more familiar here in a second because at the Mid-East Hair Scramble in 3rd place was Caleb Baltimore. Pulling double duty on the weekend. Wonder what he got paid for 2 3rd places.
I don't know, but was 1 and 2 the Johansson brothers?
No.
Oh. I don't even know who was at the Mid-East.
So, everyone who's anyone, duh. Ryan Piper took the win. He piped it up out there. So,
Who was that?
he is from Tennessee. I thought he was from Texas. This says Tennessee. Might be from Texas. I don't know. Either way. He showed up at a couple Mid-East last year, and, like, same thing. Like, I introduced pro riders. Like, there's some pro riders that race pro, don't have business being in the pro class, and I know. And there's some that, like, I just don't know. So it's like, who are we getting?
Yeah.
That Ryan Piper dude, every Mid-East that he's ran before, like, he's been, like, up front.
Good. Yeah.
Like, pushing. And then, yeah, this past weekend, he ended up taking the win. And
Sweet.
on the podium, doing the podium interviews, that's what I mentioned to him. It's like, man, if you come out to a Mid-East race and beat not only one, but both Johnson brothers at a Mid-East race, you're doing something.
Doing something. Were they there?
Yeah.
Oh,
both
you
of 'em.
said no. I didn't think they were there.
No, you asked if the 2 in front of
Yeah.
Caleb were Johnson brothers.
Was there 1 in front of Caleb?
Yeah. So Ryan Piper took the win. Jonathan Johnson in the number 2 spot. And Brody and Jonathan both battled up front. They both led portions of the race. But Ryan Piper ended up taking the win. Jonathan Johnson was having some fuel pump issues. He's saying the bike was like cutting out.
John or Brody?
John.
So you said John got second.
Yeah. John got second.
Oh, and with the issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So his bike was cutting out. He thought it was gas, came in for gas, didn't really fix it. He said it just kept sputtering a little bit. So it's a little bit for Corey to figure out with Rocket Racing before this weekend. But, yeah, he ended up in second. Caleb Baltimore in the number 3 spot. Brody Johnson in 4th and Hunter Bush in 5th. I will say I didn't talk to Brody after the race, so I'm not sure what happened with him for him to get 4th. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy that some dude came out and won over both the Johnson boys.
Yeah.
The Johanssons.
And Trevor wasn't there?
No. I halfway expected to see him there, too. Yeah, that kind of surprised me. Especially, you know you can come out and win some money.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out TJ Brown. He got 7th place overall. And where was Ethan? Oh, Ethan Harwell top 20 overall. So Ethan Harwell was running way up towards the front. He was on the pro overall podium at the first race.
Mm-hmm.
This is his first season in that race and went straight to the pro class. But then Gavin Harwell, so the youth race, no, it is the youth race. Okay, so the youth race. The second row kids all physically passed the first row kids. And Gavin passed them on the first lap. Like, Gavin Harwell from the second row came through the physical overall leader on lap 1.
Damn.
Yeah. Rolling. So he ended up getting the win, but then he went and raced this super mini in the amateur bike race.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, there's no slouches in that.
Them old dudes up front roll.
Well, now it's the C class kids. For the past couple years, C class kids have just been dominating that race.
Yeah, it's because they won't move up.
Yeah.
Ask Ron Awad.
Which I had a note in there. Ron B-Wad at the Nationals. Shout out Ron. It's probably Wednesday afternoon. He's eating a Wendy's 4 for $4 right now, listening to that.
His explanation of why round 1 results weren't up were fucking priceless.
Dude, oh man,
That was good.
Yeah,
he got a good. That was good. That was clever.
I wish I could find that and pull it up because, dude, I saw all the reactions to it before I read it and I was like, what is he talking? But dude, I was laughing at that. No, Ron's a good buddy of mine. He listens to the program. But
Hey.
yeah, so
He should be very happy right now because this is 3 weeks in a row. It's at least 2. Is it 3?
for what?
The podcast.
Oh, dude, we're consistent. We're rolling. But anyway, so Gavin Harwell races a super mini, don't even change to a big bike, races a super mini in the morning bike race and gets 8th place overall.
Damn.
On a mini, on an 85.
That's 8th.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good.
And like I said, there's
But
some fast
Ethan
people.
did that too, didn't he?
Ethan won the dang thing. Ethan was a different breed. Ethan would win the youth race, and then he'd win the morning race, and then he'd go win the schoolboy class and get top 10 overall in the afternoon race. All in one day.
There was a guy years ago, maybe like 2010, 2011, that I'm pretty sure would do that on four-wheelers and then do the same thing on dirt bikes the next day.
Like multiple races or just race both? So Hunter Hart, I'm pretty sure when he was XC2 quads, he would race some quad on Saturday. I think it was XC2 quads, and then he'd race open B bikes on Sunday.
Nah, it was more of a local guy. And I swear, but it wouldn't be possible because you can't race youth foilers and a big foiler, right? You got to be 16
Yeah,
or
I don't
something.
think so.
But maybe he would do like the amateur foiler race and then race. No, because that wouldn't work either because you can't do mini bikes.
Yeah.
It was something. He would race on Saturday and Sunday. I
So-
can't remember who it was.
Right now, Mad Dog Maddox Wellborn, part of the Wellborn clan up in Boonville. He races. Last year, he was racing micro quads and youth quads, and then he'd race micro bikes and or pee-wee bikes and youth bikes. And still now, he races the youth quads and then youth bikes every weekend.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot of races. That's a lot of money.
I was talking to his dad Garrett over the weekend, and it's like he's got to be like the most podium interviewed rider that we have because he's on
'Cause he's on
overall
every one of
podiums
them.
both days in multiple races until this year, and he actually won GNCC on a quad last weekend. He raced both at GNCC.
Really?
Yeah, he won on quads.
Will they let you do that in points classes?
I think so. He did it.
I'm on a mission to find this post by AWOD, by the way.
And Mad Dog, if you're listening, you keep winning on a quad. I'm convincing your parents to sell that thing. All right, focusing on bikes. You know what I mean? Dude, kid gets to train with Caleb Russell every day. You're telling me you're gonna be a quad guy? I don't think so, Scooter.
Oh, here we go. You want to read this?
Go ahead.
Nah, you read it. You're better. You're better. So this was on a comment on a Mideast post after round 1 when they had troubles getting the results out, right?
Yeah, so our whole database crashed
Okay.
and it ruined everything. And she couldn't get results out. So it was a couple days after the race, and someone said, "Is there a way to check results from Black Ankle?" And completely unprovoked and out of nowhere and out of left field, Ron Awad says, he's a top contributor, by the way, says so. It's Tyler Shepherdson's fault. His electric car was plugged into the power cord at the scoring trailer, which is true. He was trying to swindle a free charge, also true. and shorted out Sheila's Starlink uploader, and the results got sent to Mars instead of Elon's satellites. And now the results are downloaded to the Mars rover buggy, and we are waiting on the upcoming Chinese rocket launch where they're sending a robot from the Beastie Boys Intergalactic Planetary music video to retrieve the lost files so we can see exactly how much I sucked this past Sunday. Anyway, that's what I heard this week on the Pipe podcast. Big Thomas Caldwell and Big Rig Craig were talking about it after interviewing KR557 on the new Yamaha 350 that he plans to ride at Big Buck in the snow this Sunday. He covered all of it, dude. Electric car charging, beaming results to Mars, getting intercepted by the Mars rover buggy.
The Chinese intergalactic rocket.
The Beastie Boys Intergalactic Planetary music video.
And the Yamaha 350 to cap it all off.
Caleb Russell's 350 that everyone just knew for sure he was going to be on this season. So I think I talked to you about this off air, but when I was going to get graphics made for my bike, and I was going to put where it says, YZ250FX, I was going to put YZ350FX just to troll people because I think it would be hilarious. But then someone pointed out that Yamaha probably wouldn't think it was as funny as I did.
Probably not.
So that kind of shut it down.
Brody's rear bib blew out. He came in for a tire change.
Oh, he did. He swapped a whole tire and got fourth?
Probably a wheel, yeah.
I missed that.
And then Underfoot has no idea who Hunter Hart is.
Underfoot, bro.
He's a quad guy, so it don't matter.
Dude, New York's finest. I haven't been checking in with the
I've been keeping up with it.
Hunter Hart's super cool dude. So
he's like 7 foot tall.
He is pretty tall. I talked to him a good bit at Corey Steed. He was did I say I talked to him at Corey Steed?
Yeah.
I talked to him at Big Buck with Corey Steed. He was roasting Corey Steed, and it was actually really funny because they were both just talking junk to each other. But no, Hunter Hart, he's won XC1 quad races. Did he win an XC2 quad championship?
Yeah, but has he won an XC1?
I thought he won a race.
Maybe one.
I'm pretty sure he won a race. But yeah, he used to race quads and bikes in the same weekend back in the day. But fun fact, I met so I started working for GNCC and Racer TV in 2017. And one of the first things I had to do is they did this on-track school program where we'd go to a local school with a couple pro riders and kind of interview them and talk about it. There was like a whole thing about it. I actually really enjoyed it. That was the scariest thing I ever did at first because that was like my introduction into announcing and all that and speaking. So that was nerve-wracking. But once I got the hang of it, that was like one of the favorite things I did.
Are they not doing that anymore?
No.
They're also not doing that like local, where they pick somebody from the local town and they go put up flyers and stuff. Remember that?
Yeah.
Local hero or something like that?
Well, now
Hometown hero.
Yeah, now they do the Moto Hero that's like military or first responder based.
Yeah, which
They give that out.
much cooler.
But so the Tomahawk GNCC, the first year for it was 2017 in Odessa, New York. It's actually like 15 minutes away from where my entire family lives.
Really?
Yeah, so I was born in Ithaca, New York.
Okay.
And a lot of my family still lives there.
Isn't there a college up there?
Cornell.
Yeah.
And Ithaca College.
Yeah. What
From
movie's
Road
that
Trip.
Road Trip. There we go.
Oh, Austin? I thought you said Boston. But yeah, so yeah, that Ithaca. And the school that we went to was actually the elementary school that my older brother and sister went to.
No shit.
Yeah. So like the PE teacher there was their PE teacher and he was still there.
Oh, that's wild.
So it was kind of cool to kind of talk and do that. But Hunter Hart, obviously from being from Ithaca too, he was one of the people there. So
Sweet.
got to know him pretty well in that and just stay buddies with him throughout. But he's a guy that has really put forth an effort into social media too, and I think it shows. Like,
yeah, he does a lot.
Yeah.
Makes some pretty cool videos too.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool guy.
Anything else cool at the Middies happen?
That
dude's leg you showed me. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Dude, shout out ripping Kevin Rivers. So Dustin Simpson's old roommate, Kevin Rivers. When I first started riding dirt bikes, he was like part of that group. Like TJ Snow and Carlo G and Justin Schaefer, like John Moss, like all those dudes.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got to know him and through Dustin, obviously. But yeah, he got the Vet A hole shot, and he was leading the race. Like he was riding really good. And I didn't know he was there. I talked to him at Black Ankle. I didn't know he was at this one until he got the hole shot, and I like read his name. I was like, oh, that's Kevin. So anyway, fast forward, I see paramedics come in, and I was busy doing stuff, so I didn't get to check on it. And then afterwards, I went up to Sheila, and I was like, hey, what was the paramedic deal about? She's like, oh, some dude like gashed his leg open, like tendons hanging out, all sorts of stuff. I showed Tom the picture.
It was
a minute ago.
bad. It's like that big of a gash.
No, it's bigger than that. It went from just off center of his thigh all the way around to the backside of his thigh. So I guess he hit a tree and got caught up in a foot peg. They think it was a foot peg that ripped it open, but she told me his number. I was like, oh, dang, that sucks. And then I go back over and I'm announcing, and I just look up in the results the number. And I was like, oh, that's Kevin. And so I called Dustin immediately, and he said that he was already on the way up there because I know he goes to the races alone. So I was like, we'll make sure he's good. So Dustin and our buddy Ellis drove all the way down to Greenville.
Damn.
Met him at the hospital and like grabbed his van and stuff and drove it back. But yeah, dude, wishing Kevin Rivers a speedy recovery on that because it was gnarly.
Yeah, it was nasty.
And like it went, like I said, it went all the way in the inside of his thigh too, which is right where that artery is. So it's like he said he's laying there thinking he's gonna bleed out. Like, dude, I would be terrified. You think about breaking bones and stuff, but when you look at what his leg looked like, could you imagine being in the woods and seeing that?
No.
I'd be terrified.
I'd pass out.
Yeah. So, the other note that I had for Mideast, kind of a thing that happened over the weekend that I kind of wanted to just talk about because I think a lot of people are unfamiliar with AMA rules. And me, I'm a little bit of a nerd. So anything like that, like I study and look into. So and I'm not the official AMA referee at Mideast, but pretty much am.
You know the rule book.
Well, like when anything comes up, well, I'm the face of the series for one, so everyone involves me in it anyway. But now it's like I kind of get involved in the situations. And this past weekend, we had a kid, Hunter Harris, who he got third overall at the first race. Got beat by two C-Class riders, which these C-Class kids are unreal.
In the morning race.
Yeah. They're not C-Class riders. They are, but they're fast. You know what I mean? So, TJ Brown, he won the C-Class championship, I think, last year. And like I just said, he got 7th overall this past weekend in the pro race. So, and won AA. So, just shows you the speed these kids are riding
Is TJ Brown, is he not 059?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, no, he didn't run the C-Class. No, he was in A-Class last year.
Well, then it was the year before.
Maybe.
I thought it was last year.
Nah. It was, I know he was in A-Class last year.
Who won it last? Oh, Caden Johnson won it last year.
He was also on a Honda, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so TJ won it 2 years ago. Caden Johnson did the same thing last year and smoked everybody. But this Hunter Harris kid got third at the last one. Everyone was protesting him, saying he shouldn't be in the class. Like, everyone's mad they got beaten in C-Class. Whatever. It is what it is. People are going to do that. So he comes out and races again and got protested, like, immediately. And get to looking at it. And turns out he raced a Carolina XC race in January in the A-Class. So this kid raced youth bikes up until this year. Last year was a youth rider. When you come off, you cannot protest speed with the AMA. Doesn't matter your results, doesn't matter your speed. You can be winning the overall. If you have never raced anything higher than a C-Class, you can race C-Class. You can't protest time or ability. You can only protest results. And so that kid could have won by 8 minutes if he never raced that A-Class race in January, and it would have been fine. But with the AMA, once you race a higher division, whether you self-promote or you get promoted, you are at that level forever. There is an appeal process with the AMA where you can appeal the AMA and you can go back down to a division if they think that it's necessary. But until that happens, that official appeal session happens, you are an A rider. On top of that, one thing that a lot of people don't know is if you accept $1 of payments, if you accept at least $1 of payment at a race, you are an A rider for life. Does not matter what happened. If they
I
pay,
didn't know that.
yeah. If
Is
they
that from the series or if somebody like paid you to?
If you get paid for a result.
From the series.
Yeah. So if a series says, hey, we're going to pay the top 3 in C class this week, as soon as you accept that payment, you are an A rider for life. And there is no appealing that.
What about like a whole shot reward?
Can't have any money.
Really?
You can give out gift certificates. You can give out product. You can give out $100 to Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Which reminds me.
Just not cash.
We're going to have a new sponsor. Forgot about that one at the beginning. Just not cash.
Okay. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. And see, a lot of people don't. And that's kind of why I wanted to bring this up. So Eric Kudlow used to be the AMA off-road racing manager, and I became friends with him mainly through going through the whole series thing, like buying full gas, buying National Enduro, being involved in the races. Like, had to talk with them guys a lot. Now, Logan Densmore is the AMA off-road racing manager, who was the guy that's been running National Enduros for the past however long. So he was already a good buddy of mine, so I talked to him quite a bit and had to talk with him directly on this Hunter Harris situation. And the parents were super mad at me because we made the decision, and basically he was going to be disqualified the moment the checkered flag flew no matter what. And so then it comes into, do we let him race the rest of the race or do we pull him off now?
Had you already had somebody already presented the Carolina XC result?
Yeah.
Did they do that at round 1 or this race?
So at round 1, from my understanding, is that the protest came later that evening. So there's a 30-minute protest period. Once results are posted, you have 30 minutes to protest, and then it's done. So it wasn't within 30 minutes at the first round, so nothing could be done. Well, this round, he gets out into the overall lead pretty quick, and parents are coming up left and right protesting this kid. And so then that's when we did the AMA rider search. I searched him. I saw that he had an A-class result. So then it's like, do we let him run the race or do we pull him off? Because at first...
Does Ricky have a black flag?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a black flag 2 people. But anyway, so...
For what?
Well, this kid...
Okay. So
and
you're
then,
getting to it. Okay.
Yeah. And then another rider got towed out, switched bikes, went back. And I don't know how, dude. We catch them people all the time, and they are so shocked. So another time we black flag people was when they start early.
Yeah.
And last year there was this dude. He won the morning race. He was an old dude. I wish I remember his name. He's from Georgia. But he got out front, but he started early. And so we had to hold him for 15 seconds. And I black flagged him, and he came by. I said, pull over. And I'm waving the black flag. I go over. And I always go over and explain what we're stopping him for. He looks up at me. He's like, hey, dude, I love your podcast. I listen all the time. I was like, sweet. Appreciate it. Do you care why I just pulled you off the racetrack in the lead? But no, that was pretty cool. It was a funny story. So anyway, ultimately ended up making the decision that since the kid is racing for nothing, he's going to be disqualified no matter what. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. He's battling for the overall lead. They're all wheel-to-wheel, top 3 in 4-stroke C lights. And I'm like, if this kid goes out and he's battling for what he thinks is the overall win and weeds himself into a tree and puts a 12-inch gash across his leg, breaks a femur, breaks a shoulder, does anything, like, I'm not going to be able to live with myself. Like, the kid's racing for nothing. Mm-hmm. So I kept calling his parents over the speaker, and they weren't coming. So I finally got to the point, they were about to come back around for the second lap. I was like, I'm pulling him. And then that's when his parents came up, like, as I'm walking back to the finish line. And I explained it to them, like, the best way I can. Like, everyone's mad in that situation. Mm-hmm. Like, kids leading overall, just came off mini bikes. Like, this is what you live for. And it's like, listen, here's what's happening. I'm pulling him off. You can let him run if you want. Here's why I want to pull him off. I don't want him to get hurt when he's racing for nothing. And they get defensive, and I mean, obviously so. Like, I think anyone would. But I told them the same thing. It's like, look, man, you can appeal it with the AMA. You can do what you need to do. But the fact is right now, because he raced that A-class race, he is an A rider until you guys prove that he's not. Mm-hmm. So as for today's race, there's nothing that can be done. This is it.
Yeah.
And so, like, this has to happen today, but you can appeal it, come back in 3 weeks, race in C-class if you win your appeal. And weren't happy. Pulled him off, black flagged him. He was obviously super upset. Kid's in the overall lead at this point. And so they go away. And the reason I brought this up is 2 parts. One, I wanted to kind of explain those rules to people. Like, if you race a B class, you're a B rider. If you race an A class, you're an A rider.
So let me ask you this: once you black flagged him, pulled him off, could he have signed up in the A class in the afternoon race?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he do that?
No.
Oh.
Because then you're definitely not winning your appeal.
That would have been a savage move, though.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys.
No, I will. So speaking of Corey Revels, Rocket Racing, John and Brody's mechanic, because this came up in the Facebook group again, and he made what I think was the best comment about the situation. And he said, I don't know this kid, but I heard about what happened. If you bump him up to the A class and let him race, then whoever protested him this year won't be able to keep up with him next year when they have to move up.
That's exactly right.
And that is the best way to put it. But anyway.
So real quick, there's a guy in here that said that he went through the appeal process, which takes 3 to 4 weeks and $50. And in all caps, he said, make sure you appeal prior to racing. Even if they approve the appeal, they don't give back races or wins you got DQ'd. And he said, remember, if you win the appeal, you do not get the races back from before you appealed, regardless of what anyone says.
See, now that is great news because that confirms my opinion. Because I was talking with Ricky and Lucas Towery at the finish line, like, hey, do we pull him off or let him run it? And Lucas made the comment, like, let him run it. That way, if he wins his appeal, he could get this race back. If you pull him, you can't get it.
Yep.
So that makes me feel a lot better about it.
About your decision.
If there's no way he could have got that race back anyway.
Yeah.
So I think the right decision was made. Because like I said, the kid goes and weeds himself on lap 4.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be cool.
Here's what I want to know. Why did they go run an A class at Carolina XC? Did they think it was just a small local series that nobody cared about? Because it's AMA.
So I don't want to give up all of their business on here because I don't know their appeal process and what they're saying or going through or whatever. But I guess the best that I can say publicly is that he didn't get signed up in the right class and they failed to correct it at the time. So I don't think that his intention was to race an A class.
Well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. So whether it was because of that or they didn't realize that once you're up, I don't know.
What was his result at the Carolina XC?
He got second in A class, and this is where it gets weird, and this is where the appeal is going to be hard. He got second in A class. There was 3 riders. Third place blew up. But he got 10th overall. But I think there was only like 30, 40 people in the overall. But then, like I said, his result at Mid-East, he still got beat by 2 C-class riders.
Yeah.
By 2 technical C-class riders. He got beat.
Yeah.
So then it's weird. And, I mean, that's a decision for the AMA to make. I don't know what they're going to look at.
Did he get DQ'd at the first race?
No. Remember I said they protested him later.
So I wonder if DQing him at this one voids, you know what I'm saying, if it automatically DQs him at the first one.
I don't know. I don't think they would go retroactive. Before we spin off this too much, I wanted to say this before I forget. Because I mentioned, like, heat of the moment, dudes got mad. Part of the reason I wanted to bring this up is because after the race, Hunter Harris walked back over without his parents. He walked over by himself, and he apologized to one of the staff members who had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not the one you need to apologize to, bud. So then he walked over to the scoring trailer and apologized to all of us. He's like, hey, I'm sorry I got mad. I'm sorry. Because he kind of like rode off pretty quick, understandably so. But then he came back. He's like, it was just, this is my first year on big bikes. I've never led an overall before. Like, it's always been my dream. So he's like, as soon as I got black flag, I was just upset. And I was like seeing red. And that's why I rode away so quick. So the fact that he came over by himself.
Yeah.
And apologized and manned up and understood what was going on because I explained the whole process to him and like shook our hands and apologized. Like that was really good on his part. And then on the overall podium, I made mention to the overall winner because the kid that won, Clayton Gant, is like best friends with that kid. So I made sure to mention it on the podium too. Like, hey, Hunter Harris was out front. You guys were battling. He made something about it, and then I walked off the podium, and his dad came over and apologized to me too. Because his dad was mad in the moment. So he apologized and basically said the same thing, like, "Hey man, this is what we dream of. Kids winning the overall. Didn't mean for him to ever race an A class." They said they weren't. I don't know. it turned into a whole thing. But the other sentiment of that story was like that was a really big move for such a young kid. I think he's 14 to come over by himself and apologize. His parents come over and apologize. Just showed a lot of class on their part. So we'll see what happens with the AMA process. But yeah, it is a $50 protest fee or appeal fee. But yeah, outside of that,
Yeah,
I don't know what interesting things happen to middies.
That's pretty wild. And honestly, when you brought up the AMA stuff, I really thought we were going down the pit bike rabbit hole.
No.
But no, that's wild. I mean, honestly, what's that guy's name? Corey?
Hunter.
No.
Corey Revels?
Yep.
Who that made the comment?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing to do. Screw it. Don't waste your time with the appeal. It's a tough. I mean, it's kind of sounds like a tough case anyway.
Yeah.
Bump up.
Yeah.
Run with the big dogs. Look what Ethan did it. He bumped B to pro.
Yeah.
But that's not right out of mini bikes. So
Well, same thing too with the AMA ruling. If you race youth bikes, you can't race anything higher than a B class.
no.
So
Could he go race A class since he's already raced in A class?
who?
Hunter Harris.
Yeah, because he's not racing youth anymore.
Oh. If you race in the same day.
Yeah.
Got you.
So like the year Zach Davidson won the GNCC overall for youth, the YXC one. I think it was before YXC one, but he won the youth overall at GNCC. That year I was racing B class, and I signed up. It was like 200B, I think it is. But I signed up and like won a C class championship the year before. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I'm fast. And I forget who it was. Someone was talking to me on the line, and I was like, yeah, dude, I think I can win it. They're like, dude, you got Zach Davidson on your line. I was like, he's a kid. What do you mean? He lapped me from that row.
That's bad.
But he was getting like close to top 10 over. But same thing, you can't race higher than a B class. So it's not like I can go protest him. He's racing the highest class that he can race. But back to TJ Brown, he's huge. He's a big dude. He's a big boy. Like, gotta be like 6'2", 6'3". Like, he's big.
Yeah.
And he's been that big since he was 13 years old. So his first C-class race, he was 13. He turned 14 that season. And he went out and smoked everybody. And you got all the old guys on the front row wanting to protest and say he shouldn't be in C-class. And I'm sitting there like, this kid is 13 years old.
What do you do?
Like, if you're not going to let him get a C-class year, then what? You want to go 13 years old to the A-class? I mean, what's going on? But now he's winning AA, so it worked out for him.
So this is something I was kind of wondering about, too. So with the payment thing on, like, if you get paid from a race, you're automatically an A-rider.
My face is really red.
So with the payment thing, if you get paid by a non-AMA series, does that count and make you an A-class guy at AMA races?
I believe so. I believe it does not have to be AMA.
And you say for life, so you can't. So like, say you took 10 years off, and you wanted to move back down to a B class.
So
Could you appeal it?
we talked about this off air. I won a Mid-East C-Class championship. I never won a GNCC C-Class championship. But because of my Mid-East championship, I got promoted to B-Class. And I always raced an AB class, so it's non-promotional. Because my goal was turn 30, race Vet B. But what I'm getting at is I believe in my scenario right now, I could appeal to AMA and go back to C class if I wanted to, because I haven't raced in 4 years. I broke my leg twice. I technically don't think I earned enough points to get out of C class. Like, I am a C class rider, but I still like would feel embarrassed racing C class right now. But in my scenario, I could go back to C class. I could be wrong, but I am 99% sure that I am right, that if you take a payment, there is no appealing. If you take a payment, you are an A-rider for life, no matter what. Because there's also no such thing as a pro rider in off-road. Pro riders are recognized as A-riders. And so I believe once you take a payment of any kind for a race result, you're an A-rider. Because there was it was last year, and a parent brought their kid, it was a quad kid, parent brought their kid to a non-AMA race, and he won like $200 or something out from the C class for like top amateur. I forget what the stipulation was, but he won money. And she posted a picture and was like bragging about how he won money. And I messaged her, was like, hey, I know we don't know each other real well, but just want to let you know you should probably take that picture down that you posted of him winning money. And she got like super defensive and like got super mad at me. It's like, why, what is with all you people just can't be happy for some kid doing good, blah, blah, blah. I was like, lady, I don't care about that. I just want to let you know that if someone he's racing against sees that picture and protests him, he's an A-rider for life. He was a kid. I think he was on youth or just coming up off of youth or something. But it's the same thing. Like, she tried to jump on me, like, thinking I was talking junk. She ended up apologizing. It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. But, yeah, it's simple things like that could change everything. Once you put it on social media, there's no taking it back either. Because you know someone's screenshotting that thing. But, yeah.
That's pretty wild. I guess I'm an A-rider for life.
There's your AMA rules.
Damn.
You've taken money? I'm
Yeah.
telling.
I won $125 in North Carolina one time.
Yeah.
Maybe 200. I don't know. Got second overall behind Tyler Bruton.
Good day.
Best local result ever.
Yeah, that's a good day.
I tried to catch him to win, but I wrecked. Almost had him that day.
Almost.
And I was in college then.
At West Carolina University.
Western. Not West.
What'd I say? West?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's Western.
I knew what I meant.
Yeah, go Catamounts.
Western.
Well, let's talk about some GNCC.
Hold on. Before we do that,
Ah, shit. Jumping the gun.
we went on a whole diatribe there about
Yeah.
Mid-East. Works Racing out West. We skipped West Coast last week. We can't skip them again. All right, we got to talk about it.
Let's just Mason 1, Pro 2. That's all that anybody cares about.
In the Pro 1 class, it was beta rider Dare DeMartil who took the win. I heard he's a super cool dude. Him and Zane Roberts. Haven't met him. Would like to meet him. Tyler Lynn in the number 2 spot. Ryan Surratt would end up in 3rd. Giacomo Redondi in the 4th. I was going to stop at the podium, but Giacomo Redondi's fun to say. So we're there. And then old Kenny Owens in number 5 spot.
Speaking of fun names to say, I know one of your favorite names, Dylan De La Cruz.
Dylan De La Cruz.
He followed me on Instagram this past week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because he shared that post working out or listening to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a super cool dude.
Is he?
Yeah, we were just chatting the other day about getting razzle-dazzled after Daytona down there.
He's got a good-looking girlfriend, too.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, Dylan's super cool. He's fast, too.
Mm-hmm.
Pro 2 class, reigning defending champion Mason Simmons on the K. He won Works?
Yeah, he won everything out there.
I don't know, but did he race Works?
Yeah.
I know he won NGPC.
He won Works, too. That's why he's got a number 1 plate.
Or did he run West?
No, he's got a...
Oh, yeah, it says number 1 in the results.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see it now.
I
Is my
told
savior amen.
I told you that's all we care about.
Yeah, Mason Simmons. Friend
He's
of the
coming to
program.
Coker, I think.
To race? Or to
Yeah.
hang out?
Yeah, he's coming to win over here, too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Rocky's back.
Got to show him. He got on the podium at Ironman, couldn't get signed. Goes out and wraps up every championship he enters on the West Coast.
I think he podied him at Coker, too. Didn't he?
I thought Ironman was his first one.
It was his last one.
Something about Australians and Ironman, man.
Yeah, they're good up there.
They like to show up at the damn Ironman Raceway. Colton Ake in the number 2 spot. Jake Alvarez in 3rd. And see if we can find a women's pro. I like to give the women their spotlight. If I can find it. Oh, they have a Pro 125 class.
Yeah, do we know anybody that raced that? No. We probably know the same amount of people that raced the Pro 125 class on the West Coast that we know the 120 XC3 guys this year, which is nobody.
Women's pro, Lauren Woods took the win. Nicole Madsen in 2nd, and Dana Rayner in the 3rd place spot. So congratulations. There you have it. Why is my face so red, Jiminy Crickets?
Just bringing the heat because it's hot as balls up here.
Man, I wonder what Kamakano Waiole Kahala Lapuna would think about all this talk. You know what I mean? After his podium debut in Hawaii.
Probably about as much as everybody else cares about the West Coast dog.
I just wanted to say his name again. What was the other thing we had to talk about? Oh,
GNCC.
let's go through some YouTube comments. You want to do that, or you want to do GNCC?
We've talked about the YouTube comments. There's only one on here that we need. Well, there's two. One about the KTM having their off-road guys at Club and Mex, and one about the XC2 guys. Paul. In comparison to round one, do you think XC2 will be in the overall mix again? So that one and the Club MX, the KTM Club MX stuff.
I'm glad Paul Alley's back on my side because we missed a couple episodes here and there. And then all of a sudden he goes on Facebook talking all sorts of junk about me.
Who is Paul Alley?
And I saw it. I saw it. So I'm glad we want him back over with our consistent programming.
We need to get Ron in the chat.
Paul's super cool. He's a Mid-East guy. He races the Patriots class, former serviceman.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Paul.
Got to know him. Thank you for your service, Paul. Got to know him through Mid-East and the show and on the social interwebs and stuff. Cool dude. But yeah, he says in comparison to round one, do you think that XC2 will be in the overall mix again? I don't know what your answer is to that. I say absolutely.
I think
See, still figuring it out.
yeah, in the mix probably. Do I think we're going to see what we saw at Big Buck? No. And the reason I say that is I think there's 3 guys that are really, really good in Florida that are on the front row. And I think one DNF'd. No, he didn't DNF. He basically almost DNF'd. He didn't get any overall points. Johnny. He's damn good in Florida.
Gerard.
Ben has been on another level in Florida before.
Dude, Ben's a unit, man.
And
he's a big dude.
And Stu had some amazing rides in Florida.
Yeah.
So now, is that to say that can't be an XC2 guy on the overall podium? We saw it last year, right?
Yeah.
Grant? Yeah.
Where's my pit board, Stu?
Yeah. So, but do I think you're going to see 2 or 3 guys, or 2 or an all XC2 podium and a physical XC2 overall rider? I don't think so.
Dude, I think you might.
I don't know.
To this day, Stu's XC gear mount says, "Where's my pit board?"
Does it really?
From that race.
That's
Lance
funny.
put that on it, and it's still on there.
So no, I think you'll see him in the mix. I think you're going to see him in the mix all year long.
Dude, let me ask you this: what if Nick DeFeo just goes belt to ass and backs it up?
Spanks them boys again, dude. We'll call him. Well, maybe next Monday, Tuesday.
Plus, I mean, the sand of Florida is also a spot where that extra power does matter.
Makes a big difference, and that was something else I wanted to, bring it up.
But now that I say that, I think it was 2 years ago, Johnny Johnson was leading the overall
On the 2-stroke.
and broke his subframe.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they'll be up there and in the mix, but he wasn't physically leading the overall.
At some point, he was, I think.
Physically?
No. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it's completely out of the question to say. I would go as far as to say is there will be an XC2 rider in the overall podium. Especially, it goes back to that whole mental effect, dude. Like, once they know it's possible, it makes it easier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
once
of
Josh
course.
won that overall, Grant saw it as more obtainable. And once he
Absolutely.
did it once, he could do it again.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I to that I agree with. But we also got to remember that Big Buck was a nasty race. It was a mudder. And mud's an equalizer. So you got to kind of factor some of that into it. You got to.
Yeah. Did Toth race Florida last year? I don't think he did.
Yeah. Yeah, he did because he him and Lyndon got into it.
Oh. That's right. Because when he was on the show, I remember asking him, like, hey, dude, you've done pretty good. You want to keep doing the rest of the series? He was like, hell no.
A brake pedal or something. Brakes or, yeah. But, yeah, it'll be interesting. And one of the big topics from the last show was what to do with the start time or one front row or swapping them.
Yeah.
And I talked to an XC1 guy since then, and we were talking about that and talking about the different options. He actually thought that.
What did you trying to say?
Well, I don't
I'm
want
just
to.
kidding.
He actually thought that the swapping the 2 rows every week wasn't a bad idea. And like I said on here, I think that's a terrible idea. For the simple fact of you got the front row full of the XC2 guys, and you introduce your XC1 guys and put them on the second row, and I think it would be chaos because you only have 4 or 5 guys that realistically are catching the XC1 guys, like for the to the lead. So what would that be? Nick, Toth, Grant, Angus, Cody Barnes. Who else out of XC2's really up there? You put all them XC1 guys behind, they're running over the back half of the XC2 class.
Yeah.
I mean, mowing them down.
Yeah. I didn't look at the entry numbers. What's the number spread between XC2 and XC1 this year? Because in years past, it's been a lot to not a lot.
Yeah, it seems like it was pretty even.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Just from looking at the starts, there was 13 or 14 in XC1, and I'd say pretty similar in XC2, maybe a little bit more. But I still think the best thing to do is do it by top 10 or top 15 overall on row 1. Mix up the rest of them in row 2. I think that would be wild. I think that would be very interesting.
So DeFeo's dad chimed in and made a really good point of like when you're splitting up the classes, it's not fair for guys to be battling for class points on a separate row. Which I get to an extent, but like look at Snowshoe where everyone's all discombobulated.
Yep.
But
I do think, to his point, you would have to make, and this goes back to screwing up the points like that happened to Gus and Liam a couple years ago. You'd have to make it. You have to make the overall points, I guess, available to the XC2 guys if you mix them up. Right? Because we talked about it last time. Like, technically, an XC2 rider can't win the overall championship, right?
yeah.
So
Still curious as to what happens if that does happen.
So you have to, if you mix them up, you have to make that attainable and like it was before.
Dude, someone else, I wish I could remember it, but someone else made a good suggestion that made sense in that Facebook post. I think it was on the GNCC page. Someone else made a suggestion that it was something that we didn't talk about, but it was something I was like, I could see that. But with all the options laid out on the table, I am still a big put everyone on the same damn line. I think I've thought about it all. I've thought about top 20. I've thought about alternating classes. But at the end of the day, I think what makes the most sense at this point is to put them all on one row. Because it's not like there's 100 of them. I raced Unadilla. There were 79 people in my row. And we all took off on one thing. I got a top 5 jump, and then I slid out in the first turn. And then next thing you know, my bike's over here, and I'm over here, and 79 riders are going in between me, and I went into the woods dead last. I think I have it here. I have a 19th place plaque from that race. Because they have to give out the top third a plaque. So I finished 19th and was still in a spot to get a plaque. And I kept it because it's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure I have some from Sportsman A at like Steel Creek, like that,
Yeah.
where it's like 14th or 15th in the class.
Yeah.
Tyler says 6 XC1 and 19 XC2 at Big Buck. That can't be right. We're gonna fact check you on that one, Tyler.
Yeah, dude, there was more than
you're
6
way
people.
off, buddy.
Josh Strang, Stu Baylor, Mike Wachowski, Johnny Gerard, Ben Kelly, Ricky Russell. I'm already at 6. Jordan Ashburn. Ryder, did he wear XC2 or
No, he was
Caleb Russell,
Yep.
Liam Draper,
Dad Duvall, Craig DeLong.
Thad Duvall,
There
Craig
was
DeLong.
13.
13. What you talking about, Tyler?
And then in XC2 there was, that might have been what finished maybe in the top 20, and there was 19 in XC2. So pretty even. Just like I said a minute ago, from watching the start, it's like
My allergies are killing me
pretty
already, I'm
even,
sorry.
pretty even classes. And then
But still, they're all pro riders. We're talking about unfair advantages, row 2, row 1, whatever.
Yeah.
Put them all in front row. Let them figure it out. That way, there's no time adjustment. If you see Nick DeFeo's little T-Rex butt in front of you, chase him down and pass him.
yeah, but and then you know what? Again, probably the best thing to do is leave it as it is, and the XC1 guys go faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially because right now, I don't even think it's on their radar to make a change.
Yeah.
But like, if this keeps happening,
Yeah,
then we're gonna have to have some discussions.
Yeah, I think so.
Because like, look, Grant Davis, I think something happened to him at Big Buck. I'm not sure what, because he was out front the first half, and
Probably got stuck in a mud hole.
probably, but he was on the overall podium to start the season at GNCC or at Florida last year.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's won a couple of overall races in the championship. Going back to Florida, he's gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm. It will be interesting. And yeah, and Walker said that they race together at local, so why not at GNCC? So, but
That's because at the local there's a pro class.
Yeah.
Pro class is a pro class. Put them all up there.
so I'm like you though. If it's a one-off like this XC2 overall podium, they're not going to do anything about one time. You know, if it happens 3-4 times throughout this year, golly, dude, you need some Flonase or something.
I need to take some damn Zyrtec.
So, you know, if it happens multiple times throughout the year, something will change. Something will be addressed. Whether it's as drastic as what we're thinking by like combining them or doing something different with the classes, I don't know, but they'll come up with some rule where, you know, if you win the championship and you've been on the overall podium, you're out, or something to separate it.
Yeah.
But it makes a really good dynamic, like watching the races and going to the races throughout the year. Like it's interesting. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. I don't think anybody had Nick DeFeo winning on their bingo card.
No,
Definitely wasn't in our $1 bet.
it wasn't. Oh, speaking of, we got to do that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's skim through a couple of these real quick. Underfoot, we answered his question.
Do Kevin's question, because I got something I want to talk about that.
Any idea?
Kevin,
Going back to the Riehu thing. Cole Clyburn. Let's answer his question. Cole Clyburn says, T-Shep, how's your brother? Many thoughts and prayers have went up for him. I didn't really address it after the fact. So first of all, Cole, thank you very much. That really means a lot. I appreciate it. That was a big thing to start the season last year. It ended up being a lot of the reason why the show kind of fell by the wayside there for a little bit. For those that don't know or forgot or don't remember, last year from New Year's Day until April, my brother had 6 brain surgeries. Has a traumatic brain injury from being in the military, or he was in the Coast Guard. So yeah, went through a ton of stuff with him last year. He lived with me. I was kind of his caretaker at the time. He's since moved to Florida with my mom. Basically, like trying to balance being at the races every weekend and all of his brain surgeries and how much he was in the hospital and needed someone around once I got back to racing, I couldn't do much. So he ended up going down living with my mom. So really do appreciate you asking about that. And like I said, I never really addressed it just because I get weird about the like personal stuff.
Mhm.
But he's been doing good. He's been able to stay out of the hospital. That's a really good sign. Still got a lot of the same issues, but kind of leveled it out for now. So that's good. We were actually supposed to fish a fishing tournament in Florida last week, and he had to cancel just due to the way that he was feeling. But he's able to get back on with normal life now. We'll stay in with my mom anyway. His birthday is next week, actually. But yeah, appreciate you asking about that. Doing better. Baylor's allegedly. Oh, that's about Sherco. We'll move on from that. Piper, Walker Taylor. Walker Taylor messaged me asking when the show was today. Shout out. Piper is quick. He races IXCR and MSXC. Often he's an A-class GNCC guy, very consistent all races. I agree. Ryan Piper piped it up. He's fast. Like I said, every Mid-East race, he's come out and like ran up front. Asked this earlier, but your thoughts on KTM having their off-road guys training at Club and Mech? I do think it is a little bit out of the blue, but I do think it is a good fit. I talked to Johnny Gerard a good bit at Big Buck about the program. I talked to Corey about it too. She's obviously down there. Seems like they like it. They have a lot of options. Obviously, no shortage of fast people to ride with. Top-notch facilities. Like, they got cabins there. They got a lunchroom, cafeteria. They got, like, workout rooms, gyms, mechanics. They got everything.
And I guess they're living down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they brought in Cole Martinez from the West Coast. He's the new Caleb Russell as far as the trainers are concerned. He took Caleb's role as the trainer for the KTM group.
Cool.
So sounds like they're making some progress down there at least.
I just wonder if riding in the sand will work year round. Because it's majority of everything down there is sand.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Everything down
yeah.
there sand.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see if, that lasts through the wintertime. And it gets hot down there, too. And if those guys stay riding down there throughout the year.
Yeah, because even when they were training down at Caleb's, they would train in Florida until after Georgia. And then they'd come back up north and ride at Caleb's place here in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they make a change there somewhere. Kevin Bechtel, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Do you guys think we'll ever see any moto guys like Doug Henry or Trevor Pastrami race another Florida GNCC?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely.
Trevor's going to be there this weekend. He just texted me. I'm just
Really?
kidding.
So,
How cool would that have been?
so fun fact. My very first Florida GNCC ran Sportsman A. And we had heard, because I think Sipes was still racing. I think he was still racing XC1. And, the Pastrana Nitro Circus clan, they always do big week down in Florida for bike week, whatever. Well, yeah, because
Two-stroke week.
Yeah, well, Sipes did the Supercross. And then
Yeah.
that was the year they brought the Red Bull rig to the GNCC.
Yeah. And then you race flat track
Yeah.
at Daytona.
Yeah. So, anyway, there was rumors that Pastrana was racing Sportsman A. And, Bruton and Trevor Barrett, Nick Black, and everybody, Andrew Coffey was down there, and everybody was talking shit. Who you going to beat Pastrana? You going to beat Pastrana? Mainly asking Andrew that because I knew I had no shot. Like, I was down there to race the race because I'd never been.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't give a shit if I win. I don't give a shit if I finish. I'm hole shotting that Sportsman A class, and I'm hole shotting Travis Pastrana.
Yeah.
And, of course, this is when Andrew was riding those YZ250s, and he was like a hole shot freaking master. He started in third gear on a
Really?
YZ. Yes. His big ass started in third gear on a YZ250, and that's how he pulled all them hole shots. Sorry to give your secret away, Andrew, but anyway.
That's a big boy to be starting in third.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm hole shotting this 50-person Sportsman A class, and I did. So I've hole shotted Travis Pastrana at a woods race. And I think I led maybe half a mile into the woods.
Long enough.
Arms were pumped up, pulled over. The whole class went by. Never even saw Pastrana. But he DNF'd and I beat him. So,
See?
but
Look.
I think he was in the overall lead on the first lap. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, I got a video of it somewhere. I need to send it to you and you post it.
Yeah.
Voice
No,
us
we will.
over the video. Tag him.
That's what everyone's quick to forget about the whole shot battles between you and Tyler Bruton every week.
Yeah, that was
You guys are
fun.
good at starts.
That was fun. We were betting on it, weren't we? Between
Yeah.
me and him.
Yeah.
It was either. It was one of three things. It was a case of beer, $100 or $20. I can't remember. I think it was 20.
I think it was 20. That was the first thing that came to my mind when you said it.
Yeah, because we were betting back and forth. I mean, that was fun. We were both getting good starts, and that all started like the very first Junior A race I did was on my 25th birthday at Big Buck. And actually, Nick Black just sent me the video. I was like, I'm fucking whole shotting this shit.
And it was always you two, like up front too.
Yeah,
it was always one
wild,
of you two.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. But see, he was on a 300 back then,
Yeah.
and that thing was the 300 is a freaking whole shot weapon.
Were you racing when he got sucked up in Andrew Matusik's rear tire at Camp Coker?
Yes,
That was gnarly.
I think I ran the morning race.
Oh.
That was
Fella that runs no knee braces, nothing but pants.
that was the year that I got. I think that was the year I got knocked out at Bulldog
Mm.
in the afternoon race, and I was like, because it was like 2 weeks later, I was like,
Yeah.
probably don't need a race for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I ran that. I think it was that year, maybe not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Back to the point, like, I think dudes like that will definitely still show up. I don't know about Pastrana anymore,
yeah,
but like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like, you get like an AP or at some point,
Yeah.
or even like some Supercross, motocross dude, or Andrew Short. Even like someone will come out and race. Florida's a good time. Daytona's the night before. Bike week is the week after.
I wouldn't be surprised if Phil raced. Phil Nicoletti showed up because I know from some stuff I heard he had a lot of fun at Ironman. Don't know if he'd show up and race the 3 hour at Florida, but I could see him doing the morning race for sure. But it's obviously the start of bike week, and so there's a ton of people in Daytona, and there's a ton of people down there. Like, yeah, somebody will show up and do it. It's always cool to see too.
Yeah.
Who was Jerry Robin tried to do it? There was somebody else.
Tyler Medaglio would race it quite a bit.
Yeah, but he
Canadian
does a
legend.
lot of off road stuff.
Yeah, he used to race like the whole first half of the season every
Yeah.
year.
I think I'm thinking of Heath Harrison. I remember he would do XC1, but he's kind of well there for a while. He was really involved with the Phoenix team on the off road stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't even know that he's working for him anymore.
No.
So.
No, he left last year, year before.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got? Just tossing the idea out. Do we see GNCC up the purse soon? Local series getting very close to matching GNCC purse. Very good question.
Hot topic too.
I had a very long phone call the other day with someone about this.
With GNCC.
No. But it was about the payouts. Because my opinion, which ain't worth nothing, but you got the top pro riders in the world. And we've harped on this before, so I don't want to go too long about it. But you got the top riders in the world. They're breaking pelvises, they're breaking necks, they're breaking legs, they're doing all stuff, risking life and limb. And the payout is $2,000. And so when you look at it, it's crazy because you can do the numbers just off of rider participation. Not people through the gate, not sponsors, not vendors, not racer TV money, not any of that stuff. Simply riders who raced. Multiply that by the entry fee and the gate fee. Don't even include transponders. And it's hundreds of thousands of dollars every single race. And then the entire payout for everything, not just one class, the entire what they pay out to WXC, mountain bikes, XC1, XC2, XC3, all that, $10,350
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Does that include 4-wheelers?
No, I think 4-wheelers is like another 8,500 or something. I had it pulled up. So all in, every single class that they pay out there, and it's tough because like I have a good relationship with the GNCC people. I wouldn't exist without GNCC. This show wouldn't exist without GNCC. All these factory contracts, all these semis, none of that stuff would exist without GNCC. So I recognize what they do. But they're also the premier series. So they take the brunt of it because they have the biggest spotlight. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously what we talk about the most, which also means they bring in the most money. So when you look at, like, last weekend, Caleb Russell got 6th place, 14th overall. 6th XC1, 14th overall. Got paid $200 from the race series, which I know the majority of the money comes from the contracts, whatever. When I was in Hawaii, I was looking at some people boogie boarding, and I said, this is so silly that people, there was like 100 people boogie boarding. I was like, why don't you surf? And then that got me thinking, I wonder how much professional boogie boarders make. So I looked it up, and the boogie boarder event payouts, where there are no entry fees because you just go to the beach and watch them. So they're not even making money off a gate fee or anything else. But the boogie board payouts are $35,000 per round. So their pro payout for professional boogie boarding is more than 3 times more than GNCC's payout. And the women's payout was $10,000, which is also like 3 times more than what the women's payout is at GNCC. And like I said, they're not selling near as many $45 gate entries. So it's like a couple years ago, people forget, until last year, it paid $1,250 to win the overall. And then they paid top 10 in XC1, and I think top 8 or something in XC2, and a handful of XC3. Anyway, however it was structured, you got paid out for XC1, you got paid out for your class. And then they changed it to the overall and said that they were paying more money. Because now it pays $2,000 to win instead of $1,250. But the overall, the total payout amount used to be $10,300. Now it's $10,350. So they restructured it.
It went up by 50.
They're only paying $50 more. But same thing, if you get 16th overall, you get $0.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you get 7th in XC1 and you're 16th overall, you don't get anything. Where that used to be $350, $450. It was an incentive to race XC1. And it also goes back to my whole thing is put them all on one line because you're paying them the same.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying them for your class. You're paying them for the overall. So give them all a fair shot in the same overall.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how you're going to pay. But besides that, I know that businesses are for profit. But you can't tell me that we can't give these riders a little bit more money. When, like, Mid-East, I think we paid $1,500 to win this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't pull in 20,000 people at the gate.
Mm-mm.
And the gate fee is half price. So it's like, I don't want to come across like I'm talking bad about them because they are the premier series. They are the blueprint. They are the people that everyone is trying to copy. But they are the premier series in the sport. They have semi-trucks there. They have the top riders in the world. They have people like Travis Pastrana showing up, like Phil Nicoletti, like Ryan Villapoto, like Damon Bradshaw.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are the best in the world that day, you can win $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I basically, the way that I see it is like, you look at every professional sport, they are required to pay 48 to 51% of total revenue back to the athletes or back to the teams or whatever. And GNCC, like the math on the numbers, and not just GNCC, pretty much every series that I've calculated it with, the entire payout is less than 1% of rider revenue. That's not including spectators. That is 0 spectators. That is just riders that race.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So when you put it that way, it's like, maybe we could pay them a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well,
to win a ping pong tournament, $13,000, by the way.
But they got a cruise to pay for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see what classes have stars by their name and get to go?
That's the only ones that get to go. They announced it at the banquet as class champions. Now it's just select class champions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I wonder if they'll invite the media.
I don't know. If we keep going down this road, probably
I'd love to
not.
come cover it. No, and I mean that's the thing too. Is like I said, I have a good relationship with them. At least I think so from my end.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
It's a roller coaster, man. Y'all's relationship's good, bad, good, bad.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. That's
But
what
it's the
happens
same thing,
when,
like,
when you speak the facts and talk the truth. And
try to be unobjective. But I think any rational person can look at the payouts and, like I said, I know you got to make money, but I think there's some room in the budget.
yeah, for sure.
Just my professional opinion. But anyway, back to your question. Do I think that they're going to increase the payouts? No, I don't. I just can lay out reasons why I think they should. What happened to Bub's Tasha? That's a good point.
No idea.
No idea. Is he racing moto or something? I don't know.
No idea. Check his Instagram.
Yeah.
Whoever asked that, Zach.
I'll check it.
No
Tasha
idea.
Fuels is still around. I think some people are still running some Tasha Fuels. They had to cut the cost. Oh yeah, that's why he said the cruise
Yeah.
thing.
So, but I don't know. What do you think's exciting going into Florida? What do you think? How do you think your boy Caleb's gonna do? Is he gonna win? He's been riding down there all winter.
Listen, that was another thing from walking around the pits at Big Buck this weekend. I got a lot of shit for talking about Caleb. The dude is the greatest of all time. Like it or not, it is what it is. Sorry for thinking that the guy that's the best to ever do it might be still good at it.
I'm gonna go with my same thought from Big Buck. He'll be lucky to get a top 5.
I'm going to go with my same thought from Big Buck, in that I don't know how healthy it is, so I can't make an accurate prediction. Apparently he's healthy enough. He led for a little bit.
Emphasis on the little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very long.
Yeah.
But
it happened. But the other thing that people, I think most people know, but you may not know, he's got a property that's like a mile from the hog wall or mud bog. And that's where they've been since Christmas. So,
yeah,
I think he'll be strong in the sand. He rides a lot of it.
yeah. I'm sure he will be. He'll probably be better than 14th overall, I'd say.
He didn't text me back. But I was talking to him about something else right before we went live. And I can tell you that he is, based off of that, he is not happy.
Oh,
with his Big Buck result.
I believe it.
So it's not like he's at the point where he's like, you know what, I led it. I got a top 5 or top 6. What was it? 6, I think. I feel good about it. Top 15 overall. I don't think that's the case at all.
No.
I think he's hungrier than he was going into Big Buck.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see.
Hope you can't see my phone from the camera.
No, you wouldn't be able to read it. I think you're going to have a lot of guys that had really bad races at Big Buck come out swinging. I think you're going to see Craig, Stu, Johnny, and then Ben and who was the other one?
Stu. Oh, you said Stu.
Yeah, Ben, Johnny. I think those 3. I think we haven't talked a lot about Craig this season.
Yeah.
Even before Big Buck. But he started off last year terrible. He had the DNF in Florida. He had, I don't remember what happened to Big Buck, but he had like 3 or 4 races to start the year go to shit. He's not going to let that happen again this year. So
I forgot about the fire last year.
Yeah. So, and he DNF'd at Big Buck. Had bike issues, whatever, due to the mud.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's fired up about it. Like, I could see him coming out swinging. I could see, Stu's fired up from around 1 DNF. How many times has that happened to him? Between missing Big Buck, wrecking out a Big Buck.
Getting bit by an alligator, missing Florida.
Yeah. So, and he's doing a vlog, whatever, this year, like everybody else seems to be doing.
Yeah.
But and everybody knows he wants to win the GNCC championship. He said, I want to say the past 2 or 3 years, he's like, screw that. Like, obviously he's doing the national endurance, but he's like, that's not my focus. GNCC is my focus. I have to win this before I'm not good enough to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, and then of course Johnny and what happened with him, but I think you could see Lyndon have a good ride too. I wouldn't be shocked to see him back on the podium.
No, not at all.
Same with Josh Strang. He he had a really good ride down there. Share Taco used to be a bike too, didn't it? Can't say that.
Bull Taco.
Bull Taco. Okay, so yeah, Share Taco. Shit Taco. Shitco. Anyway,
You're gonna get sued.
I hope not. Don't give them no ideas.
No.
I don't want to pay rider salaries. So yeah,
Either.
don't sue me. Sorry.
Except for one.
Clip that. Cut that out.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you could see Josh having another good ride. Like, I feel like he had a quiet big buck, and ended up 4th in class. And his overall wasn't who was like 11th. But I think the overall at Big Buck was so weird.
The conditions were so weird.
Well, majority of it was the mud. Second, the XC2 guys rode really well. But yeah, I think I'm talking in circles. But
yeah, you think about like the Craigs and all the guys that we mentioned are
dude,
currently dying of
you're
allergies.
struggling.
I know.
Don't
My
get-
face is
you-
red. I can't breathe.
You better not get me sick before.
I'm
I
not sick. It's 100% allergies. But anyway, nonetheless, like Craig and all those guys training down at club, like I think Craig is at the point now where he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder because he is a former champion and he didn't have the year that he wanted to run in the number 1 plate and he didn't have the race that he wanted to at Big Buck. And I know that those guys have always trained in the sand down in Florida, but now they're training in the sand in South Carolina. But Craig is one of those guys that, like, I think he needs someone to doubt him. Like, I think he needs that little extra motivation to get it going. Just like he said, wasn't it Ironman? He was up on the podium. He was talking about not having the year that he wanted and kind of like
he won it.
Yeah. And like people writing him off, and he had to go out there and prove it to himself. And I think Craig is in a good spot. I don't think he would agree with that because nobody wants to DNF the first round to start the season. But I think he is in that spot to dig back into it and come out swinging and do well at a place like Florida, especially after last year. He left his bike there in a pile of melted parts after it caught on fire in the woods. So, yeah, I mean, he's a guy that could come out swinging. Jordan Ashburn is not going anywhere. Like, that dude.
No, he had a DNF too. Didn't even think about him.
Yeah.
So,
But, like, he's fit. He's been in Florida all off season.
has he?
Yeah, left it. I don't know if his wife and kids went with him or if he went down there on his own, but he's been down there. And, like, he's a guy that like I said, he's not going anywhere. And then I got a project that we're working on with Strang that I can announce here soon. But I was speaking with him earlier today in reference to some of that, and we got to get some pictures this weekend for something that we're working on, and talking about like getting a family picture, doing how to line it up. And I was like, podium picture works good. And his dad's gonna be in town, so Big Vince.
Okay.
Big Vince is gonna be in town. So I mean, kind of the same thing. Like for him, just kind of hanging out with him, being around him that weekend. I think being a team manager and rider, and I don't want to say babysitting a crew, but taking a crew that's never been to a GCC and taking them for the first time.
And a lot.
He was a little high strung.
Yeah.
And still with all of that, put down a good result. And so it's like now I think the second one isn't going to be as bad, not only for that, but he's also got his dad there to like support him and help him out. But
and it's not going to be a mud fest.
Yeah. And he does good in Florida.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could be a guy that could kind of shock some people this weekend.
And the tree's gone.
The tree is gone.
He confirmed that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, right below us.
Yep.
But and I mean that's the thing is like you could go down the list and get into a storyline about why every one of these guys can win. Nick DeFeo might put belt to ass and do it again. We don't know. He lives in Myrtle Beach now. Maybe he likes the sand even more.
Myrtle Beach. Start calling him Sonny.
Yeah.
Oh, Ladford.
Now, I know Stu was stoked about his two guys going 1 and 2, but at the same time, I think he's also kind of thinking like, hey, it's supposed to be me up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like you said, he's always strong down in the sand, and
Yeah.
I can guarantee Nick DeFeo will probably run a scoop tire this weekend.
Absolutely.
After hearing from him last week.
I'd say they'll all have one. No, it'll be interesting. I think Florida's always one of those races that's fun to watch. It seems like you get some really good camera shots from Florida, and at least watching on the live feed.
Last year was so bad, dude.
Yeah, well, I was watching, and they had a drone. The drone was up, and like they panned out over top all the trees, and it was pitch black. And I texted somebody, or maybe put it in the group chat or something. I was like, "Storm's coming!" I just spit everywhere. Sorry. I was like, "Storm is coming. It's about to get nasty." And it did. Yeah, it looked terrible.
Yeah. That section, that fence line that runs like down going into the finish, I stood there for a while. Dude, it was the nasty. That place.
It's so nasty.
If you've never raced Florida before and you're going down there this weekend, pick the oldest pair of gear that you never want to see again.
Yep.
Because that does not come out of anything.
Yeah. Or black gear.
And then get ready to go race again in 6 days.
Yeah, and Tyler asked, jumping ahead a little bit, to Talladega, since you said racing in 6 days. It's going to be tight.
Probably.
It's going to be tight.
It's going to be Rudy,
tight, Red Clay, maybe a little sandy. But yeah, I actually talked to Jared. It was either at Sumter or it was definitely Sumter. I asked him, I said, how's Dega looking? I said, is it going to be tight? And he just shook his head. He said, yeah, it's going to be tight.
Dang. I wonder how much woods they have to work with.
I think quite a bit. I think the property's like good size. You're not going to be close to the speedway. I mean, within sight.
Not even close at all?
I mean, it's on the same property, but he said that property, like for parking and stuff, is so big.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you think about Charlotte, there's people that park all the way out to like Tom Johnson's camping center for the race. So like even if that's where y'all are parking, you're still, a quarter mile from the speedway.
Yeah.
Maybe a half mile.
It would have been cool to start through the tunnel.
I told him that. I told him, I was like, dude, it would just be cool to start there and then end there. So, because they used to do 2 scoring loops at Snowshoe.
Yeah.
And I was like, just start there, beeline S through the fields. You only have to set up 1 track.
Yeah.
Out. Start your loop, go back through scoring and start the loop, or bypass it, and then when you go to finish, pull out of scoring earlier, back down that same stretch of track into the finish. Epic.
Yeah.
Epic.
That would be cool.
It would be sick.
I'm sure NASCAR doesn't care how cool it would be.
Well, and he mentioned, he was like, yeah, we would like to do that too. And he said that might be something that they can pursue down the road. And he also asked him, I said, well, I also heard that there was a rumor that was going to be round 1 instead of Big Buck. And he said, yeah, there was a possibility of that. He said, but with it being the first year down there and something that we never even thought about, that's the weekend of the Daytona 500. And I guess the same group that's a part of NASCAR Daytona that owns Daytona Motor Speedway and then Talladega is the same ownership group, and they want to be at the first one.
Yeah.
So that had something to do with it too. Dude, you are terrible right now.
At least I'm not doing it into the microphone like Craig.
Yeah. Go to sneeze again. I'll fix it. Give you one of them big bless you.
Dude, I'm dying.
But yeah, So that'll be interesting. But yeah, he did tell me it's going to be tight. And I don't think it was him that told me, but somebody else had said that they had a hard time getting a utility quad around the track.
Oh, so this is going to be tight.
I'd say there's going to be definitely some bike sections that'll be tight.
Dang.
So
It'll be interesting to see.
But
Nevertheless,
it'll be cool. Hopefully, like all the teams and stuff, like do something like NASCAR themed cool on the bikes. Like that'd be sick.
quick turnaround. I don't know.
They put-
Supercross races every weekend. They should be able to turn it around in a week.
Yeah, they change plastics and graphics anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
or at least gear or something. Have something cool. At least change the number fonts to like some something cool. Like you know what I told Craig he should do is a damn Budweiser Phoenix Honda with the Del 8 on there, baby.
Well, Wachowski's 8.
What'd I say? Who'd I say?
Craig.
Oh, yeah, I meant Mike.
Yeah.
Oops.
Jordan
So-
Ashburn, he's got it set up.
Yeah, 3 for
He's
Del,
running
baby.
the 3.
Better be an all black gas with the black number 3 on it, baby. Whoo! If he don't do it, he's missing the damn boat.
It's got to be that 3. The iconic Dale Earnhardt 3. Got to be.
Yeah. Now you talk about somebody getting sued. Teresa Earnhardt, she gets wind of that. Shoo, they'd be
Shut
in
it
hot
down.
water. Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah, it'd be shut down quick. She shuts down everything. She's a Australian C word.
You got to keep collecting those royalty checks somehow.
Yeah.
Controlling the market.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get out of here. I'm going to die.
Yeah. They're tired
you
of
got
hearing you
work in the
sneeze.
morning?
Yeah. Some of us got to.
Yeah.
You can sleep off your allergies.
I think I'm going to play golf tomorrow.
Jesus Christ.
Tough day.
Must be fucking nice.
Tough day at the office. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Yamaha, for being up of the program. I tell you what, that Yamaha machine, it just revs my heart, boy. We got to come up with a revs your heart segment.
Oh, hold on. We can't finish yet.
Look, dude, we're both wearing Yamaha shirts.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yamaha Racing.
All right.
He's got a Yamaha. See it right there? I got a Yamaha. See it right there? Good to go.
Hey, you didn't end it, did you?
No,
Okay.
we're still
Good.
live.
Yep. Florida podium.
No, dude.
You're going first.
No, I was trying to get out of that.
Nope.
I was trying to get out of
So
that.
$1 bet. Actually, let's see.
Dude, I'll tell you
Florida
what.
podium plus.
I'll pay $1 if everyone just has fun.
Shut up.
I just want everybody to have fun.
Plus $1. So we're up to $2 till we get it right. Who's the overall podium?
Dude, I don't know.
Come on,
I don't know.
dude. It's for shits and giggles and $2.
Stu, Caleb.
Who's third?
I'm trying to decide.
Between.
Ben Kelly and Johnny Gerard.
Don't forget about XC2 guys.
Shit.
I just fucked
It's
you up.
too
didn't I?
hard, dude.
No,
It's too hard.
That's what makes it shits and giggles, man.
I'm calling it. The XC1 boys are going to come out swinging, all right? They're
All right.
tired of these little kids.
Yep.
Johnny.
All
Or
right.
Ben, dude, it's so
Nope,
tough between
that's
Ben
it.
and
You
Johnny.
said it. You said it.
And Jordan
I'm going with.
and Strang. We just talked about Strang getting on the podium.
I know it. I'm going with an all FMF factory KTM podium. Just don't know in what order yet. I'm going Ben, Grant Davis, and Johnny.
So we have to hit it perfectly?
Yep. To win the dollar. To win
That's
the.
never going to happen.
It might.
Not now.
It might.
If we were doing this in 2017, we'd hit it every week.
It might.
And
Well,
now it's a shake-up, boys. Good racing for everybody.
It's exciting, man.
I just hate people getting mad at me.
I tell you
I
what.
want everybody to have
Since
fun.
shut up, Steven. I do work. I tell you what. Since T-Ship hates podium predictions, everybody DM on the Pipe Podcast your podium predictions for Florida, and if you get it right, We'll ship you an OTP shirt, and
Yeah,
I'll
give 'em
pay.
something.
I'll pay for the shipping.
Give him something. You gotta be
Let me.
you gotta be the right size fellow for that. 'Cause I'm limited
Okay.
on sizes.
Okay, so maybe not a shirt, but something OTP, something.
Yeah, I'll give you something.
It might be a box of stickers.
Surprise pack.
Yep,
You'll get something.
and we'll ship it to you. So DM on the Pipe Podcast your podium prediction. If you get the overall podium right, we're gonna ship you something.
All right. Shout out Stephen Harrison. He's got OTP on his graphics now on the shroud.
Yeah, he said Johnny Stu Grant Davis. So
Yeah. Got to DM it. DM it to be in it.
there you go.
It's tough making the predictions and then going up there, hey, can I get an interview? And they're like, no, because you don't think I'm going to be on the podium.
Well, then you know what you tell them? Fucking prove me wrong.
There's only 3 spots.
There's only 3 spots.
All right, how many people we say were in each class? 16 and 19 or something?
Open Cooler Scott, Johnny Stu Liam.
There's only 3 spots.
DM OTP's Instagram on the Pipe Podcast.
Only counts in the DMs. It goes down in the DM. And quit messaging me on Facebook. Everybody. It is like a 4-step process to get into my Facebook DMs. Don't message me on Facebook. I'm not going to read it, and it's just going to be a notification that lives in my face for forever. Instagram.
Scott, is your cooler open, and what's in the cooler?
Open cooler.
Open cooler.
All right, that's going to do it. We will see you this weekend.
You might not get that many DMs because there's probably not that many people that's going to make it this far through the podcast.
Nah, dude, we got hardcore listeners. What else are they doing on their way to Florida?
Oh, fuck, that's right.
They're listening to OTP.
Just like DeFeo.
And we appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
And I know Rodder's dads listens. Rodder's moms listen. Rodder's listen.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, I wonder how many people get mad at something I say, but they never tell me about it. And then they just have a voodoo doll of me at their house. I try to be as non-biased as possible.
That's pretty deep. Voodoo doll's pretty deep.
I overthink everything too. That's one of my big problems.
Maybe somebody had a voodoo deer.
Yeah. Probably so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? We got to keep it entertaining. We got to talk about it. It's just different. Like, I can go on here and talk all the crap I want about Patrick Mahomes, about LeBron James. I'm never going to see them. All these people, I got to see them this weekend and every other weekend for the rest of my life. So, it makes it tough.
They'll get over it.
We're a small niche community.
Yeah.
I love everybody equally.
But see, look, we've had more comments in the past 5 minutes since we've been trying to get off this of podium predictions. People love them.
We have more concurrent viewers right now than we had.
People love it.
So people do listen to the
DM on the Pipe Podcast your podium predictions.
Yeah, that way I can just read everybody else's instead of mine.
No, I'm holding you to it.
All right. I'm going to die. I need some allergy medicine. Thank you for coming over. Sorry we were a little bit late. One of these days. The goal is run the intro at 7, start the show at 7:04. That's the goal.
I like it. And we take out the O, and it'll be 7:04.
Tom didn't get here until 7:30 today. But I wasn't ready by then either, so it's both of our fault. Okay. We started somewhere close to 7 Central Time.
Yeah.
AWOD.
Kevin, yeah. We need to get AWOD on.
I'm sure I'll get a phone call from him tomorrow. All right. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Let them know about OTP. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Be on the lookout for the Raw recap video. It'll be out Sunday night. I got some other stuff in the works that hopefully we can start unrolling. Big Buck, I sat in my car till 2 o'clock on Tuesday because it was raining and I had nowhere to go. So we're hoping to change it down here in Florida. We'll be at Daytona Saturday night. If you see me at Daytona, hit me up. Maybe I'll bring some stickers to Daytona. So if you see me in Daytona, hit me up. I'll give you some stickers. And we'll see you Sunday in the sands of Palatka, Florida. Tom, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. We will not see you next week. Next week's show is up in the air because Tom is going to be out of town, and I think I might still be in Florida. So I might bring all my stuff down there. Maybe we'll try to set up a cool show or something. Get some people on there.
There you go.
Or I don't want to take the week off. We're on a roll. I can't break it.
Yeah.
I said we're going to be consistent, so we're going to find a way to do it. Might be audio only though, or I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll be a show next week.
Yeah. Audio only. I could call in for a short minute, but yeah. Good luck to all the guys down in Florida. Enjoy it. Enjoy the warm weather. It should be nice down there. So.
See you guys.
Deuces.
Thank you.